Bobby Lee Craft with One Night to Another, January 12th, 4:04 in the morning. I've had a couple deep conversations today with my fiance and a friend of mine I used to go to school with that brought some good questions and comments to my attention that I feel like I need to talk about. This was originally supposed to be notes, but to be honest with you, I wrote some notes, but my brain works faster than my hand does most of the time, so I just decided to record it, as I'm talking about, because I talk to myself a lot, So I figured, I'm just going to record this and then just go back over my recording notes. I know this is not a new thing, people do that, but for me it's new, because I like to write stuff down. But I got a couple, we have a couple topics that I'm going to lightly address right now, and we're going to get into more details about it in further episodes on One Night to Another. So I'm going to start off with the root of addiction. In general, what causes somebody to become addicted? And so far I've got mostly your children. They watch what you do. They watch their parents. They watch their guardians. They watch if they're partying and they're drinking and they're partying and drinking and making it look fun in front of them, because they don't want to fight in front of you or the children. Most likely, that child is probably going to end up drinking and partying and having fun because it looks fun. They don't see the bad side of it. After they get tucked in and they go to bed, and behind that bedroom door, a lot of times addiction and stuff like that leads to abuse, violence, domestic violence, and in my experience, it did. That's as a child, I witnessed stuff like that, which they didn't even know I was witnessing it. But kids can be sneaky. They'll sneak and they'll listen even after they're supposed to be in bed. But if not, like I said, if it always looks fun, they're going to end up doing it. If it don't always look fun, and they're witnessing their mom get beat, or vice versa, or a lot of fighting going on, it's going to work out 50-50 in my opinion. It's either they're going to do it because that's what they're accustomed to, and that's how they grew up, or it's going to turn them against that, and they're not they're going to be like, I'm not going to let my kids see that. It's really 50-50. I witnessed a lot of stuff as a child, and you would think that I would not even want to even look at a beer. But it didn't work out that way for me. I was an alcoholic by the time I was 13. So, but some people, like I said, it's 50-50 on really how it goes. I guess I was not alcoholic because I tried to numb some of the things I've seen. Not only my mom getting beat, but I've had to save my mom from her slicing her wrist in the bathtub, or taking a bunch of pills and trying to kill herself. I witnessed this stuff, and I was the one who had to try to revive her and call the ambulance and stuff like that. So some traumatic stuff happened, and that's probably ultimately why I became an alcoholic, because at a young age I'm trying to cope with stuff like that, and the only way I knew was, hey, drink, get numb, and it went away for a little bit, and that's the way I've always been. That's how I deal with shit. But it's not like that for everybody, it's kind of like a 50-50 thing. So what does addiction ultimately lead to? Like, what does if you put addiction and a plus or equal sign, or no, an equal sign, what does it ultimately lead to in most cases? I'm not saying all, but most. In my experience, has been violence, domestic disputes, jail time, DUIs, freaking, what's that, a mother class that you let in, classes, just a mess, a life of destruction, a mess. Ultimately, that's what it boils down to. I mean, people can say all they want. Well, I just drink and have a good time, and that's that. But I mean, that does happen sometimes. People skate by that easy. But there's always some kind of pain they're trying to numb, or something they're trying to forget about, or I mean, it could be anything. But so I came up with this root of addiction, like the root of all traumatics. R.O.A.T. Root of all traumatics. I call it that. What is the root of all addiction? Like mental illness or addiction. They're all, it's the same thing, in my opinion. Because addiction is an illness. And can you stop a person as a community? How can we, is there a way that we can try to get it to where people don't rely on alcohol or drugs as they get older to cope with things? Is there a way that we can, stop it? My opinion, I think if we really wanted to give it a good try, it should go back to like the old days whenever the community in the neighborhood raised your children. Like if my kid went down there and hit another kid or was cussing or something, and another parent or somebody from the neighborhood heard or witnessed it, that they could discipline them. And they raised their children as a community, not just you didn't have like single mothers trying to do it on their own as much as you see now. You see that a lot. You see that a lot these days. Single moms and dads trying to raise their kids on their own. But God forbid that another adult disciplines them. Now, I get it. If I seen somebody trying to discipline my kid, I'd probably, Papa Bear coming out, I'm going to whoop somebody's ass, you know what I mean? But it shouldn't be that way. And it sucks that it has to be that way because you can't really trust, you just can't trust people. You never know what they're going to do. But anyway, let's get back on topic. But if in a perfect world, if the community and neighborhood could just raise the children together as one, I think that would be a big change on how that child's life ends up being. You know what I'm saying. You get it. So that's just my opinion. Is there help though, ultimately? So at the end of this, okay, I'm going to take a time out just a real second. At the end of, after I get done discussing these topics a little bit, I have my own personal, simple answer to all of it. And I don't want to give it away yet. So, another topic is tough love. Does it help or does it hurt? So does tough, like, when is enough enough? Like, you gotta give somebody tough love. If it's your cousin, if it's your brother, that just won't stop doing what they're doing. Stealing from you. You constantly have to bail them out of jail, etc., etc. tough love. Like, does it help or does it hurt? Well, I think that depends really on the situation. I think it's a very fine line between tough love, enabling the person or helping the person, or pushing that person away. I mean, that line is so thin that a butter knife can cut it. It depends on the person. It depends on your relationship to that person. But ultimately, I think that, if you're really tight with somebody, let's say me and my brother are really tight, let's say, and no matter what, like, I don't think enough is ever enough if you truly love that person. I don't think it matters how many times they fall, how many times you got to bail them out, how many times you got to stick up for them, either know that they're wrong or, enough is never enough, I don't think. I think that you just be there no matter what. And a lot of people argue, well, yeah, okay, so you do that, but that affects your life, that affects your marriage or your personal life, because that person that you're with, they're going to get sick of you giving your attention to your brother, every single day, almost, giving them money and all that. They're going to get sick of that, and it's going to, like, put a dent, and it's going to put stress in your life, and when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about personal experiences. I know how it is. I've tried to please everybody, and it just don't. I mean, you can't please everybody. It's impossible. So, in my opinion, I think that if whatever person you're with and you're trying to save your brother, that person that you're with, if they really love you, they're going to understand it, and vice versa. If it's switched around to where that person is always trying to help their brother, and you're not getting the attention you think you deserve, but you love that person, you're going to understand, and you're going to let them do it. You're going to let them do what they got to do, and you're still going to love them and support them. That's that's love. It sucks. Life sucks. You're going to have feelings always get in the way. Feelings get involved, and then shit is said that's not meant to be said. But if you really love it, you're just gonna. We have to. You get what I'm saying, okay? So I want to go on to parenting. My buddy asked me, as an addict or whatever, like, is there a way that you can stop? Is there a way that how do you keep your kids from becoming addicted? I think that's what the exact question was. And really, that again depends on the situation and the child, and parenting has a big part of it. Yes, absolutely. Like, you can sit there. I have seen parents that are, in my eyes, almost perfect. Strict, but not real strict. Just really had good communication skills with the children. And I've seen them children be in prison by the time they're 20. And I've seen the same thing, but the children become successful in college and are doing good. And then I've seen a lot of bad parenting. Parenting that I should never even have witnessed. I've seen them kids turn out very, the total opposite. They went to college and they did something with their lives, but then I have seen where the apple didn't fall too far from the tree, and they're exactly like their parents. They don't take responsibility for their own actions, just blame everybody else, and they stay stuck in that route. But that happens, and I don't think it's really their fault. I think if that's what you're accustomed to, it's 50-50. You're either going to go the opposite, or you're going to either go the opposite, or you're going to be the same way. I don't think there's really I'm sure that there's a better percentage if you're, a very good parent, communicating skills and all that, and you have a job and your kid sees you working and you're blue collared. I think that, yeah, your kid probably has a better off chance, of succeeding in life and not being addicted. But then again, parents, you got them parents that do have a job and do put on a good show in front, not even a front, but are alcoholics, but functioning alcoholics and functioning drug addicts or whatever you want to call it, and their kids watch that. And I said, well, my parents, they are successful. They did what they had to do. They paid the bills. They always had food in my mouth, and they drank every day. So I can do that too. Now, listen, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. My opinion, I'm not going to say that. I am going to say it, okay? If you can be, like I've been a functioning alcoholic all my life. And pretty much a functioning drug addict. Now, I have fell off a couple times where I was off my, just a little bit too much stress, to where I got to the point I didn't give a shit anymore. Like I did give a shit, I did give a shit, but I didn't. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that, you're numbing that pain and that's the way you get through life. But it's not a good, you can front it all you want and, it is perfect. I can drink every day and do whatever and I'm fine. But really, you're not fine. I was never fine. I was fine if you asked me, but I wasn't fine. It just all depends on the situation. So anyway, I'm not going to keep on rambling on because there's so many. Every time I say something, I think of something else that another situation it could be. We're not perfect people. We are humans, and we're going to make mistakes, and we're going to. But unfortunately, this addiction thing is, it's out of control. I don't know. I don't know very many people that aren't addicted to something, either alcohol or street drugs or legal, Adderall, drugs over the counter, whatever, or something. I don't know hardly anybody. I'm trying to think of like one person. I don't even think I can, except for my kids. You know what I mean? Just because they're not old enough yet, I guess. So, my two oldest, Mackenzie, she's 15. James getting ready to turn 12. They watched their dad. They watched me from the time they were born till now be in and out of their lives. Okay? I'd be in and I'd be out. I'd be in jail, I'd be out of jail. I'd be in state, I'd be out of state. Because I was either running from the law or I was running from something. And at the time I was so selfish. But in my own head thinking, that I'm doing them good by being away. Because I didn't want them to witness, the things I was doing. Instead of just manning up back in there when I was young. Instead of manning up and just being there and just stop getting in trouble and stop doing what I wanted to do, which I should have did. I didn't. I was a fucking, I don't know, man. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I can't take it back. I wish I could, but I can't. But in a way, I think it helped my children. In a way, it hurt them a lot, and I'm sure it hurt them a lot. But in a way, I think that them watching and seeing and feeling how that was done to them, that they're not going to do the same thing to their children. They're going to be there for their kids because they don't want their kids to feel like that. Like I grew up without a father, and pretty much without a father. I had some stepdads in my life and stuff, but my mom was always there for me. You know what I mean? You would think that would be the same way, but that's just not the way it rolled, So, and my youngest daughter, Mariah, she, I haven't seen her since she was a baby. She was young, a baby. uh, that got all messed up, and I haven't seen her since. I wish I knew what was going on in her young life, but I don't. Hopefully, one day I will. I mean, God's blessed me with a lot of things. You know, with me being able to be in the 2 kids I got's lives, but my youngest, that's next. I'm hoping it comes soon too. Anyway, and I'll just be real. Like that's probably one of the reasons why I fall off. Because like, either no, I'm not the greatest father in the world, and I'm not always there even when I'm there. I love my kids with like all my heart and soul, and it kills me when I'm not around them, you know, and it kills me that I haven't seen my youngest since she was a baby, and you know it's probably 8 years ago, and I numb my pain with mostly alcohol, you know. I know I'm not. I mean, yeah, it's an excuse, but fuck it, it's an excuse. It is what it is. So I'm going to answer, in my opinion, everything that I just went over. Bottom line. Now, listen, guys, don't go off and just say, screw it, my 10-year-old's a little bastard. There ain't nothing I can do about it. I'm going to kick him out. He can do whatever, because whatever's going to happen. I think that we're supposed to do the best that we can do. We're supposed to be parents. As a parent, you are responsible for your children's well-being. Make sure that they have clothes on their back. Make sure that they have food. Make sure that they're going to school. Make sure that they got clothes. Make sure they're healthy. And educate your kids at a young age. You know, educate them about addiction and sex. And like I've always been completely honest with my children since they were young. I'm 7, 8 years old. I was talking to them about sex and drugs, and you know, when I was around. You know, I was never shy about it because I wanted them to know. Like even Santa Claus. You know, I didn't just come out and say, hey, there's no Santa Claus. But when they asked me, hey, Dad, is Santa Claus really real? I didn't lie to them. I told them the truth. Because I think in society that we turned Christmas into something that it's not supposed to be. You know. But anyway, I'm not going to go into all that. Be honest with your kids. Start educating them about things like this at a young age. I think that will help. But ultimately, I think that our cards are already dealt. I think that we can do the best we can. And I think that our parents may or may have not did the best that they could. But ultimately, we're going to do what we're going to do. And your kids are going to do what they're going to do. Because our cards are already dealt. For a reason. We're all here for a purpose. No matter if you've been through abuse and you got the shit beat out of you for all your life. Or you're the one beating the shit out of somebody for the rest of their life. God uses that for something. He uses that to help somebody else, or he uses it for something, but ultimately it's already dealt, and we can't do nothing about it. We can just do what we can, and we'll find out why after we die, you know. When I got that, whenever I really truly just really started putting my stress and putting everything that was on my shoulders on God, and just started like not stressing about things so bad like I used to, like giving myself a heart attack about every little thing. Man, you wouldn't believe the weight that took off. Now I still stress about stuff, and I'm still, you know, I still you know, trip sometimes. You know, I mean, I'm human. But ultimately, I know that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, everybody. It is. In the end, I know that most of the time it doesn't look it. It does not look it at all. It looks bad. I mean, shit looks real. It looks bad. There ain't nothing good going on in a lot of people's lives. But we tend to focus on the negative all the time too. We tend not to really pay attention to the positives, which we need to start doing. But we're human, like I said, and it's going to be okay. There's a bigger picture. There's a whole lot bigger picture than just this little life that we're living right now. I had a buddy on the show a few weeks ago, Mr. Phil Dye, man. I love that dude, man. He's a good dude, and he said, "This is just like Disneyland. This life is Disneyland. This is a test. This is temporary. This is temporary, man. We're not here. We're here for what? Maybe 100 years. Which to younger people that seems like a long time, but really it's not shit. It goes pretty quick. I'm not the oldest guy in the world, but 36, but still, I mean, it goes quick, and then it's over, and then you're going to eternity, wherever that's going to be. But I'm not going to get into all that right now. I want to save all these topics I discussed. I'm going to save them, and we're going to discuss them some more, and I'm going to discuss them with different people, and different podcasts and stuff like that, and get at different people's opinions, but mine. Bottom line, my opinion is our cards are already dealt. We do the best we can do. What's going to happen is going to happen. And that's it. It's that simple. Maybe it's just me being lazy or just trying to just simplify shit. But I think bottom line, it's that simple. So, I love y'all. Father God, thank you for putting those words in my mouth. I feel like that was supposed to come out, and I feel like it's going to help somebody, even if it's one person, it's somebody. And hey, I love y'all, and I'll see you later, or talk to you later. One addict to another. 1A, 2A. Peace.